Keizai. Watashi wa Nihon no kezai gaku ni tsuite presentation o okanate imasu. My Japanese presentation is going to be on the Japanese economics, and it's by me. School systems in Japan. Karera ni wa mitsu no gakko ga arimasu. Japan has 3 different levels of schooling, all the way up till however old you are. They have their shogako, which is their primary schooling. They have their chutogako, which is their secondary schooling, which would be like our middle school and high school. And then they have their hoshu kyoku, which would be their further education. Everyone above 18 over there, they'd be pursuing further education, like their college, universities, and all that stuff. Jinko. Nihon no jinko wa 1 oku 3600 The Japanese population is 136 million, and they don't have the biggest area to support their population. So they have a lot of condensed cities like Tokyo, where there's a lot of tall buildings, kind of like LA. A lot of people tightly packed together. Tochi. Nihon wa chisai. Japan is a lot smaller than other countries with like their similar population size. They have like 136 million people, like I just previously said, but they only have 145,000 miles squared to themselves for their country, while somewhere like the U.S. has a population of about 900 million now, but they have almost 4 million miles squared of land to fit those people on. So they're a lot more spread out. They have a lot more room to live on. So it's just a very interesting thing to look at. Gyokai. Nihon ni wa Nokyo, Kokyo, Kanko, Gyokyo ga arimasu. Presently, Japan has focused a lot on the manufacturing of high-end, high-tech items. They've been working a lot on hybrid vehicles and stuff like robotics, optical instruments, but they also do have a lot of agriculture industries, and their tourism industry is growing as well. Seizo. 日本は自動車と技術を非常によく製造しています。So for manufacturing in Japan, a lot of it goes to technology and things like their cars and their car companies. Those would probably be their 2 biggest manufacturers. They produce a lot of great technologies, and they're the pioneers in robotics and like consumer electronics and semiconductors. And then their automobile industry is also very popular, even in places like the US where we have Nissan and stuff like that. These 2, like technology and then car manufacturers, are 2 of their biggest manufacturers. Ganko. 2019年の本市が異国人は3200万人。Tourism in Japan has been popular. It's been growing a lot over the past years, even though it did take a big hit from 2019 and 2021 because of COVID, just as everywhere did. Um, the places that people like to visit the most in Japan are Tokyo and places in Tokyo like Shibuya, Shinjuku, Asuka, and Ginza areas. And then other places beside Tokyo would be Kyoto and Osaka cities. People love visiting all those. They have their temples, they have the cherry blossoms every year, and they just have beautiful scenery all year round because Japan is a beautiful country. Gyogyo. 日本は漁業が盛んです。The fishing industry is also one of Japan's biggest industries, one of their biggest money producers. They have medium-sized boats that catch about half of the fish that Japan takes in, and then they have those the big industrial fishing boats that take in the rest of the fish, which is a lot. The small medium boats taking in half of the fish in the country is a lot. Some of the seafood caught in Japan is crabs, mackerel, tuna, sardines, pollock, trout, squid, and stuff like that. And as for freshwater fishing, it's not as big, but they do freshwater fish species like trout and salmon. And those fish farms account for about 30% of all the fish that Japan takes in yearly. Nogyo. Nihon no nojo wa dobutsu de wanakusaku motsu desu. Agriculture is probably the lowest income earning out of the three others I brought up. However, Japan lacks a lot of suitable farmland since they're so mountainous. But with that, they have a self-sufficiency rate of 50% because they have become so efficient in their farming. And on those 14 million acres of the cultivated farmland, they've managed to have half of it be self-sufficient. Um, as for how much money it brings in, they only bring in about 1.4% of their national GDP, so not the most amount of their income, but only 12% of the land in Japan is farmland. So it's worth noting. N. 日本人はドルの代わらに円を使います。1000、2000、5000、1万にメモがあります。So in current times, 137 yen is worth one United States dollar, and the Japanese yen make up about 16% of the commerce worldwide. And for how small of their population, that's a pretty big percentages compared to others like the United States, which has about double their population, but they make up about 60% of worldwide commerce. Go choshu arigato gozaimashita. Thank you.